Can you all hear me? Testing. Okay, so good news for you guys. They say it's a short testimony. So, well, the testimony that I have, I get to the lesson that we can get from it later on. So this testimony is when I was canvassing last year. It was in December. It was not long ago. I was canvassing with one of, some of our classmates. And how do I say this? In few words, just so I don't make it long. So it was a whole week canvassing. And my experience was a really great experience canvassing. I was doing great, I felt like I was doing good. And, selling a lot of books, getting to talk to a lot of people, sharing thoughts, testimonies, ideas, and everything, Everything was going fine. But one day, I came back from canvassing. It was such a good day for me. Like, it was really, really good. I got a lot of books out, a lot of experiences. I met a lot of people. But at nighttime, when I went to sleep, I had a dream. It was a horrible dream. So my dream was, I was walking on the streets, canvassing. And, I went to a house where they basically kicked me out of the house. They didn't want me to be in their property. So they were pretty rude. So I had to go. Fine. The next house I went, it was a whole bunch of, grown men that were kind of doing, evil stuff in there. And because I came to bother them, I got beat by them. And so I made it. I was alive. And guess what? I continued walking down the streets, house to house, door by door. I went to another house, and because I was bleeding, I was all dirty, my clothes were broken and everything, the person got scared and said that he was going to call the police if I didn't leave. Okay, so I had to go, went to another house. The people there had dogs. And guess what? The dogs chased me because, they just let them out and let the dogs chase me. Well, the dogs did their job, I guess. So I was pretty bad, I was about to die. This is just a dream, okay? It's not real life. And so I continued walking. I went to another house. I knocked at the door. And the lady got scared because, I was bleeding and everything. I looked like a homeless. I looked like I come out of jail or whatever. I don't know. So she called the police. And here I am, a Venezuelan with expired passport, bleeding, with a black bag. Like, if that was me, like, if you're telling the story to me, I would be scared. Like, you just see an international with a black bag walking in the streets, all bleeding and stuff. Like, that's horrible. I would run away. So when the police called me, I got in the car and stuff, and I woke up. Thank God I didn't continue the dream. And so, I woke up. It was early in the morning, and I was like, what was all that? Like, crazy. And I didn't realize that, it was actually the devil, Like, the next day, we had to go canvassing again, and I was fine. I didn't even remember about the dream, But then, Miss Jeros, right there, she was the one driving. And throughout the whole week, I was going pretty much by myself. On the streets or whatever, I was walking alone and everything. But on that specific day, she asked me, Samuel, do you feel comfortable going alone today again? Do you want to go with someone? And I usually will say, no, I can go alone. Like, I can go by myself. Save that person to someone that needs it. Well, thank God Auntie Rosie didn't listen to me, to my thoughts, because I didn't say it out loud. And she sent me with someone anyways. But guess what? That person was even more scared. So here I am, trying to give comfort to this person because I was fine, you know. But then once we get out of the van, I start shaking. My blood pressure just went down. I couldn't even move. And like my breathing was kind of heavy. And I didn't know why. I was just so scared. And then my partner asked me, "Oh, do you want to go and talk to these people?" And I was like, they seem busy, you know. Like, nah, let's just leave them alone. And then there was a business in front of us. And I came up with the worst excuse ever. He asked me, "Oh, do you want to go to that business?" I said, "Oh, yeah, sure. But, you know, it's my first time going out with you. So I want to test you," I said. "So you talk and I just stay behind. And I listen. I want to see how you canvas." That was all a lie, you know. I was scared. And, you know, to be honest, I didn't know why I was scared. Because, like, the days before, I was just doing fine. But then, because I stood back, he got nervous too. Oh, I say he. So it's a he. Nah, I'm not going to say the name, okay? So I'm just at the door, and the lady starts talking, "No, we don't give donations or anything because it's a company. We receive donations. We don't give donations." I was like, "Oh, okay, have a good day." He was still talking, and I was about to run away. And then we just walk in and everything. And when you canvas, you have to take all chances that you have. Like if someone walks beside you, you get them, you approach them. And I was doing that, you know, before. But then that specifically, people was like coming on my way, and I'm like, you know, looking at the sky and everything. And so my partner looks at me like to tell me, "Okay, are you going to approach them?" Like he is hoping that I'm going to come and approach people and start canvassing. And, you know, he looks at me and I look at the sky. Nobody did anything. And we just walk in and I'm praying, "Lord, what's happening to me?" And I was so scared. People would get close to me and I'm like scared. I'm scared, totally scared. And I didn't even think about the dream that I had last night. A few minutes later, I had to switch partner. And I felt bad, you know, because I saw that this person that I had before was kind of afraid. And instead of giving him courage, I was also scared. And so I remember that the first days, Auntie Rosie will send me to give comfort to the other ones that were scared. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." But then I'm coming and I have to give courage to someone, and I feel like I'm even worse, in a worse situation, you know. So they switch my partner and stuff. Thank God this person was more confident. And so I start getting a little bit more confident, but not enough. I was getting confident just to talk to this person, you know, like instead of talking to people. And I will go and I'll say, "Okay, good morning. My name is Samuel. This is my classmate. Go ahead." You finish. And so, you know, we're just walking and stuff. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I wasn't selling any books. I was even afraid of giving you. We had this little, this little crackers or whatever, and we give them for free. You know, we don't really charge for those. I was afraid to give those. Imagine, like I was so scared. And then, I forgot to mention this. On the dream that I had, one of the people that I met, that I had to run away. This person had a gun. Now, let me go forward again. We're just walking on the streets, and I'm walking with this person, and there's a store that seems to be closed. And so we're walking, we're like 30 feet away, and there's a lady that comes out. And me, instead of going and approach the lady, I'll tell this person, oh, you want to go and canvass this lady? Now, this person, was tired of doing all the job. So, because I didn't do anything the whole day, basically. So I'm like, okay, I have to do this. I have to walk in. Lord help me. So I come and I try to approach the lady, and guess what? The minute I get close, there's a guy with a gun that is like this big that comes out of the shop. I don't know about you guys, but let's say the shop is right there in the front. Like, I'm not in front of the shop yet. And you just see a guy that is coming out of a shop with a gun. What comes to your mind? Run. I'm so sorry, but I thought it was a shooter or something. I don't see anything. I don't know what's inside. I don't know what's happening. I just see a guy that comes out of a shop with a gun. And I say, oh man, let me run away. And for some reason, the first thing I did, instead of running away, I'm pretty sure this wasn't me, that was the Lord who pushed me. But the first thing I did when I saw the guy with the gun was stretch my hand. Like, if you're going to kill me, let me at least introduce myself. Or something like that, And then I realized that when I look at his face, I didn't even want to look at him. So I look at him, and he's smiling. So I'm like, okay, that's good, I guess. And so, I introduced myself. Oh, hello, my name is Samuel. He's my classmate. We're students from Hartbert Hills Academy, and we're doing this. We're students, missionary students and stuff. And so the lady comes, oh, really? We're missionary students and stuff. And I was so scared. I'm looking at the gun. I'm looking at the guy. And then I'm looking at my partner. And I was like, do we run away or what? And then when we introduced, the books and stuff, surprisingly, the people was interested. And then they didn't want to get the book, but they were willing to give a donation. This is something worse. I'm talking to the guy, and he's gonna searching his pockets for money or something, but he didn't know what to do with the gun because of the size. It's not like you're gonna hold it with one hand and then put your hand in your pocket. And so this was so funny because the guy didn't know what to do with the gun, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here," and then he just goes back because he realized that I'm gonna run away. He's like, "Oh yeah, let me get a donation here." And he gives it to the lady, And I was like, man, thank God. And so he gave us a donation. That was the first book I got in the whole day. Out of 3 books, imagine, a full day, I got only 3 books. And that was the first one. And, I'm just going to cut the testimony here because I'm taking too long. They're looking at me already. So, what I learned from this testimony is that, first, the devil doesn't want you to do God's work. And when he sees that there is someone that is doing great at spreading the gospel, he wants to attack that single person because he knows that they can do an impact. And the other lesson is that God looks at the heart of the people, not the outside. When I was about to run away from this guy that had a gun, I never thought that my first book in the day or my first donation in the day was going to come from a guy with a gun. And so that just amazed me how God works, how he spanked me, basically. Do not judge people from because of the outlooks, but look at the heart, just as Jesus would do. Amen. Thank you.